Welcome back to YChin channel. I'm Yulia Kosarenko. In this video, I will talk to you about the most important skills you need as a business analyst in 2025 and beyond. This is a channel where you will find a lot of information about how to become a business analyst, how to use business analysis tools and techniques, about using data and analytics to improve your business processes and to implement better organizational changes, and also to help you with your career development, preparing for interviews, analyzing your potential career path, and choosing a better professional future for yourself. Come back if you want to learn more, if you want to develop your career, if you want to move forward through your business analysis career phase and perhaps into the new career after that. Again, I'm Yulia. This channel is closing on 6,000 subscribers. Please help by clicking on subscribe button, and let's get to our topic. So what are those essential business analyst competencies in 2025? And we will do a list of 10, but of course we will talk about how to find those, how to develop them, what to do if you feel you're a little bit weak in one area or another, and help you to focus your professional development, because of course, as market changes, as situation changes, you also need to adapt. So what are those business analysis skills and demand? So number one is, and always will be, knowing business analysis tools and techniques. This is very important because for you to be an effective business analyst, you need to use those techniques, because we are always in a rush. We never get enough time to do analysis. We have to collaborate with so many people. Sometimes those people are in different remote mode of working, or in a different time zone, or in a different location. So different ways that you need to use those tools to achieve shared understanding of requirements are important. And that variety of tools and your versatility as professional is key, because different audiences have different needs. You're going to work on different projects. You're going to have different types of software and products and platforms to work with. So you need a variety. So those tools may include modeling, such as creating process models, use case diagrams, state transition diagrams, modeling data, creating matrices such as a scenario matrix or data mapping, creating a data dictionary. It could be just those facilitation techniques that we will talk about more. So business analysis tools and techniques are really needed to support your theoretical business analysis knowledge. I will have a few videos and a playlist to share with you in the comments where you can learn more. We also learn a lot about business analysis tools and techniques in my Be Mindset mentorship circle that I run weekly. Again, information will be provided. You're welcome to join. And we now have a really large library of video recordings that you can also subscribe to. So that was number one, business analysis tools and techniques. Number two is your ability to work in different environments, and especially environments that are agile and are using various methodologies for the product delivery, such as Scrum, Kanban, Lean, and other frameworks. So not all analysts have an opportunity to work in all of them, but most of us definitely worked in at least a couple of companies that were using or trying to use Scrum framework. So knowing what exactly is that methodology, or what is the framework about, what are those ceremonies that are used in this framework, what is the purpose of each ceremony, and what is business analyst's role in that, how do they contribute, that is really important. Now, even if you didn't have a chance to experience it, you definitely should read about it and watch videos to understand it, but of course experience it is the best. And even if you're not currently a business analyst, you may be working on such a project as a subject matter expert or developer or tester. That is still a very valuable exposure to different methodologies. So you need to understand what they are, what are the main ways of working in these methodologies. The other thing you need to understand is that business analyst still needs to do business analysis in all of these different environments, okay? You still need to analyze and capture requirements. You still need to look for contradictions, for gaps in information. You still have to work with stakeholders to elicit information from them. So you still do business analysis, but what may differ is the format of your deliverables, the types of your deliverables. For example, you add user stories with details to a backlog instead of creating a business requirements document. The timing of when and how you need to deliver those things will also change. For example, in waterfall environments, you need to do most of the analysis up front and try to finalize requirements as much as possible, deliver potentially a large business requirements document. In agile environment, that is not going to be required. You're going to be iterating through requirements. So some of the requirements will have much more detail in them. Some will be a little bit more vague and high level because they will be prioritized for later down the road. So the timing changes, the formats change, how things are called will change, but you still have to do analysis. Okay, so that was your number 2. Number 3, as a business analyst in 2025, you really need to be data savvy. You need to understand a lot about data and what role data plays in all those software applications, in delivery of the projects, and in them making business processes run smoothly. So whatever project you're working on, whatever business requirements you are eliciting, you will need to think of data requirements, data management requirements. What is the data life cycle on your project? You may have to even deliver artifacts such as maintaining or creating a glossary or data dictionary. You may have to do a conceptual data model. You may need to deliver data mapping if the solution you're working on will include integrations with other systems or third parties. By the way, my new book, Foundations of Business Analytics, is coming out, and it's going to give you a really good background on what is data, different types of data, and how analytics solutions are designed and developed and delivered in an organization. So check that out as well. Now, on data side, you also need to be able to do some data analysis sometimes. And a data analysis can help you with your business analysis. So it's really helpful if you as a business analyst can be a very sophisticated user of analytics tools, such as use a dashboard to explore, to find some interesting relationships, to give you more information to help with your data analysis, maybe running some ad hoc reports, maybe doing queries. Now, if you can do SQL queries, which means you directly can query a data stored in a database or in a data warehouse, that can be very handy. Check out my other video about why analysts should not be afraid of SQL. And in all of this, think about it. As a business analyst, you are defining and eliciting requirements related to data management and related to business analytics. On another hand, you may use data and analytics to help you with business analysis. Now, important point here, a term business analyst sometimes may be used to describe a different type of job, which is more like data analyst or business intelligence analyst. So there is a difference between business analysis and business analytics, even though there are some overlaps in these areas. If you're a little bit confused about what is business analysis versus business analytics, I have a video on that as well, and I'll provide you with a link. So that was our number 3, being data savvy. Number 4 is understanding the latest developments in artificial intelligence and understanding what does it mean for you and your job as a BA. So there's a lot of talk about, can AI replace business analysts? How should business analysts use AI? And so on. So there is at least 2 very important aspects here that you have to understand, research for yourself, and actually experiment with, okay? One aspect is, and this is what a lot of focus has been on recently, how to use AI tools to boost your productivity as a business analyst. Now, yes, you can boost your productivity if you use those tools smartly. First of all, just for regular research, of course, remember, please check your sources, because AI, large language models, tend to hallucinate. They may provide you with fake information. So any research you do using AI tools, you need to verify and validate. You need to make sure that the information you are getting from those tools is accurate. You may still use it to help you generate some ideas or give you the basis for your research. However, on top of that research, you need to apply your own critical thinking, your own analytical skills, because remember, large language models give you the most typical answer, which means they're going to focus around happy path, around typical scenarios, around things that kind of you have to expect. Exceptional scenarios, anything that is special and different, any gaps, it's your job to figure out, okay? AI is not going to do it for you, at least not yet. Now, the other aspect of using AI, so the first was using it to boost your productivity. But the other aspect is how you as business analyst can support projects in this field, like AI development, developing of machine learning models, developing of embedded analytics to automate or help improve and optimize a certain business process or part of business process. So that's a different side of it. This is where you still analyze business and you try to understand what are the requirements that may be solved using AI, may be solved using automation that perhaps is using those probabilistic models and machine learning to embed a certain decision making into business process that basically relies on machine learning. Okay, so of course there is a lot to unpack there. We will not do all of it in this video, but definitely go and read more. And again, you can go back to my book, and I do explain what are those different machine learning models and what types of tasks they can solve, what tasks of problems they can solve. So you need to understand it, both possibilities of using AI and machine learning and its limitations, because again, you are the person who can explain it to business stakeholders. Number 5 is development of products, product ownership and management. Another important trend and another area where you need to develop your competencies. Now, say in a company that is using Scrum methodology to develop its products, you typically would have a separate role of product owner, and a BA works in combination or in collaboration with product owners. However, many companies tend to either collapse those roles or use a PO from business as a more of a figurehead, where business analyst is doing a lot of that product owner's job. A lot of business analysts nowadays end up moving into product owner role, and from then on you can develop into product management roles, right? So it's also a promising potential career path, but to go there and to capitalize on it, you need to understand about product development, how we design products, how we determine product features. So learning to develop artifacts such as, say, a product roadmap, feature, how to do feature planning, maybe create a feature tree, how to depict a user journey, which will help you to understand which features of your product are more important, need to be prioritized, or you need to really improve because this is where users experience pain points on their journey. Okay, how to do smart prioritization, how to promote your product, how to do competitive research to understand which features should be prioritized for your development. So all of these different competencies around product management and product development, very beneficial, and definitely you have to consider if you want to develop long term in your career. Okay. Number 6, as a business analyst, you must be a skillful facilitator. Facilitating meetings, facilitating events, workshops is still crucial, and it is something that business analysts need to be excellent at. Now, Project managers, of course, are also facilitate, but they facilitate different types of meetings, right? Project meetings, status, demos, steering committee reviews. It's more related to how the project is going and solving project issues. The meetings that you facilitate as a business analyst are thinking meetings where you elicit new information, where you do problem solving, where you do root cause analysis, where you map out processes and look for opportunities for process optimization. These types of meetings are much harder to facilitate because there is a lot of unknowns. You're not always sure which way to go, or maybe your audience goes in multiple directions. It's very hard to keep track of all the information. And on top of it all, in this environment, post-COVID environment, think about how many meetings now you have to facilitate, which are either remote or most likely hybrid. And hybrid meetings are actually the hardest to facilitate because if you're fully remote, at least you're fully remote, you prepare for that. If you're fully face-to-face, then of course we have a lot of other tools like whiteboards and flip charts and seeing each other, right? And joking in the room. But with hybrid meetings, it's much harder because some people are online, some people are in the room, and you need to cater to both of these audiences. So if you do something in the room, people online will not see it. If you just focus on people who are remote, then for people in the room, they may be unclear, what's the advantage of being in the room. So you have to find such ways to facilitate where you share and visually, you interact with your audience here, you interact with your audience online, you make sure everyone can follow along, and that is much harder, okay? So a lot of your facilitation tools and techniques need to change to manage those hybrid meetings successfully. One of the important things in managing and facilitating meetings, these days even more, is your skillful way of using visuals, sharing screens, making pictures, creating diagrams on the fly, even if it's a simple list or if you're typing things, using colors and bolds and formats and pointers so that people can understand what's going on, they can follow along. Using collaboration boards with different areas. Perhaps you have parking lot over here, a model over here, list of tasks over here, so that everyone who is in the room and online can follow along with various streams of information that are happening. And you as a facilitator need to basically orchestrate all that. So I have a separate video also where I talk about how I use different visual tools for facilitation. I'll direct you to that as well, and maybe that will give you some new ideas. So that was our number 6, facilitation, okay? What is number 7 in our list of 10 essential business analysis competencies? Number 7 is your ability to work in multi-party environments. Okay. Now, the days where everything was happening internally within the company are mostly over. Yes, there are still some companies, especially large companies, that do all of their internal software development. They have these huge IT organizations and everything is in-house. Okay. However, those companies are in great minority now. First of all, medium and small businesses cannot even maintain such large IT departments, and often it's unsustainable because you don't have such a steady stream of projects. Projects come and go. Many companies now use more and more SaaS services, so they'll use large platforms and instead of their own legacy systems developed in-house. So they basically stop developing internally software, right? They will buy a product such as a large ERP solution or a CRM solution with all these different modules, and then they'll start to integrate it with other third-party solutions. Now, to implement those solutions, however promising the end result might be, requires different parties to be involved. So it may be your internal teams, maybe the vendor who is selling you the product. Often, these vendors also collaborate with third-party system integrators, so the vendor is not actually helping you to implement solution. They just sell you the product and licenses. They provide consulting, but the actual implementation project is run by yet another integrator. And because you may have multiple third-party solutions in place that you need to integrate with this new solution, you may also work with those other partners. So you end up working in this multi-partner environment. And of course, it could be a big nightmare for project manager as well, because they need to manage relationships and teams and access levels and so many other things. But for you as a business analyst, it's also not simple, because there's questions that arise. Who's responsible for business requirements? Who provides business requirements to who? Are you capturing business requirements, or is your partner integrator capturing them for you? Are you validating them? Are you providing them? How are you combining it? Do you run meetings together? Or one of you is running the meetings and sharing with the other party? So all of these questions come into play, and in every company they will be resolved differently, but you need to address them. So it requires certain sophistication from you as a business analyst. It requires you balancing these different priorities and not jumping in just to do things the way you've done it on a previous project, but understanding roles and responsibilities, what are the accountabilities, and again, making sure that in all this big soup of relationships, we don't forget about our stakeholders, and we make sure that their requirements are actually captured and understood and implemented. And sometimes that gets a little bit lost in politics. Okay, so working in multi-party environments, very important skill and a competency that you need to develop with every project that you work on. Number 8, a key competency for a business analyst in this day and time is strategic focus. It's understanding strategic analysis tools, ability to use them, and helping their organizations to do more of a strategic analysis. Because most projects we do, most development of solutions, most software development, that even if it's done internally, is part of that larger architecture in organization, right? So these are not isolated projects and not isolated processes and not isolated systems, right? It's all integrated in this large ecosystem. Different systems send data to each other, integrate through various API calls. Processes depend on one another. Your process depends on third party. And whenever you're planning enterprise change, for example, a new way of collaborating with your channels, or you introduce a new channel for selling your product, or your company is introducing a different product that is going to be serviced using a different model. These initiatives usually involve changes across the organization. So in some ways, we as senior business analysts more and more become involved in business architecture, in strategic planning. As a business analyst, you definitely need to become friends with your architecture team if you have an organization. If you have a business architect, then collaborating closely, discover how you can collaborate. If you don't have a business architect, sometimes a lead business analyst starts to play that role. So think about any digital transformation project, a large project where you're changing in some significant way how your organization will rely on technology to create products or to deliver products. There's gonna be a whole organization involved in it. You may have finance, accounting, sales, marketing, operations, all these different groups involved and impacted in different ways. So understanding how that change impacts the whole organization, understanding all different aspects, different functions of business that will be impacted, doing that impact analysis is really more of an architecture, enterprise architecture function and business architecture function. And you, as business analysts, may have to do that. Okay, so learning strategic analysis tools, learning what is business architecture, because it may help you to be more effective as a lead business analyst for a digital transformation initiative. And again, it may provide you another way to develop your career. Okay, so that was now number 8, was strategic focus in business architecture. Number 9 is cybersecurity awareness. Business analysts need to understand, what does it mean, cybersecurity? What are security requirements? What are privacy laws that are effective in your country, on your markets? What does it mean for the products you are creating or for the software solutions you are helping to deliver? You need to make sure that security requirements are elicited, collected, and implemented. You need to work closely with your chief security officer or whoever plays that role in your organization, because more and more the new solutions being developed need to be developed with cybersecurity in mind, privacy by design, security by design, and those are very important considerations. So you as business analysts will definitely be involved in those. And finally, number 10, what is most important for you if you are planning to develop as a business analyst, or you're just changing into this new career, or you're thinking about how to develop further, what impacts you is 2025 is the current market situation. Organizations are becoming leaner. We've heard about a lot of layoffs. We've heard about many companies cutting down on staff. What it means for business analysts and for anyone else, then in your job you may have to do more, or may have to multitask more, because a lean organization may mean that your team does not necessarily have a separate person for every role on the team. Maybe your project is smaller, but as a result you are doing a bit of something else. For example, you may be helping with project coordination, or you may be doing some of the testing. You may be coordinating business acceptance testing. Or perhaps you as a business analyst will end up more involved in training and change management. So again, I'm not saying whether that is right or wrong. It really depends on organization and on how much work is available. Sometimes you say, I want to be a pure business analyst, or you say, I will do other things, I want to keep my job. Or you will say, hey, I like doing other things because it will help me explore different potential careers. So it's all in your mindset. But if you are in an organization where you're asked to do some extra things, consider that a way for you to explore new careers, to gain those new skills that you can put on your resume. Okay, I have another video about the future of business analysis and what are potential careers for a business analyst. And part of that video message and part of what I'm trying to say today, it's not necessarily bad. If you have to be versatile and take on new duties, it really depends on whether you have capacity to learn something new and whether you see something useful in it and whether you can use it in your future. Okay, so that was our number 10, adapting to leaner times and versatility and maybe taking on additional responsibilities. Now, even though we've done the top 10, I wanted to mention a couple of other things just for you to consider. And these are not necessarily new things, of course, they were always there, but I think they also are gaining more importance with, with what we see, how the market is developing. Another area you have to think about is your domain expertise. If you have expertise in a certain domain like banking, derivatives, insurance, consumer goods, it may be a very viable strategy for you to continue developing it and becoming an expert in that particular field. So capitalize on it if you can. Regulatory knowledge often comes in handy if you ended up working for a regulatory compliance project and you had to dig in and understand a certain piece of legislation more. You may discover, first of all, that it could be quite fascinating. And secondly, business analysts with good regulatory knowledge, with understanding of legislation can be very valuable on certain projects, so it could become one of the strengths that you can use for your future. And finally, various tools that you may have to use as business analyst. And again, nothing new here, but please continue investing in knowing various tools. And those tools could be anything to do, say, with requirements management and SDLC, such as Jira or Azure DevOps. It could be model and diagramming tools. It could be collaboration boards. So it's not limited to just diagramming. This is a variety of things, but anything that takes you beyond just Microsoft Office tools is helpful if you learn to run SQL queries, if you learn to use Tableau, Power BI, to do simple changes in dashboards or extract data and manipulate data. All of those skills on how to use tools are important. Don't forget to put them on your resume, and whenever you get opportunity to practice them. So that's it for today's video. And the goal was again to run through the most important competencies of a business analyst and the skills that are in demand and will continue to be in demand. Of course, on all of those, you have to put in an effort to develop them. You have to put in an effort to learn more, to explore, to practice, then to add it to your resume, be able to talk about them in your interview. But of course, you already know this, that your career to a large extent is in your hands. There's a bit of an element of luck. You do need connections, and it often helps you, but your knowledge and your skills and how you present yourself in an interview, that's all up to you. If you need more help, check out all the resources I listed in the video description. Get in touch with me, subscribe to this channel, and until next video, all the best.